You can't find it on any anatomy chart or map, and yet its force is everywhere, that develops things, transforms the world, and changes people. The power of the human spirit. Welcome to the show. I am Bophelong. Today we take a profound look at the power of the human spirit and what it really means to face adversity and adaptation. Lemke, a survivor of a motorbike accident that left him paralyzed, takes us through his own experience, realizing just how dark days can bring about greatness in life.
Here's a diary of a young black man whose life went from being excited about doing things to being depressed on how to do things. Lemke, a 28-year-old from Roodepoort, is a differently abled guy who refuses to allow circumstances define his life.
I got into an accident on the 26th of January 2013. I was on my way to Woodbank with a couple of friends, and on our way there in the morning I took a corner, lost control, still not sure what happened till today. And then I woke up about 3 weeks later and with pipes in my mouth and realizing that I can't move my legs.
Life was as certain as the rising of the morning sun before his accident.
I was working, so I worked at a cocktail bar about 3 nights a week, and I also had an events company. So I used to finance gigs for other people, and that's how I made most of my money.
The guarantee of the morning sun was quickly wiped off the face of Sandile's life when he woke up in hospital.
The first time you wake up, I think after going through such trauma, is first of all you're scared, and secondly you're confused. You don't know what's happening. In my case, I woke up with pipes into my lungs on the sides, and also I had a machine breathing for me. So I was also strapped to the bed because your reactions is to naturally pull something out that's causing discomfort, even if it's in your sleep. So I was tied down to the bed. So when I woke up, I'm tied down to the bed. I can't breathe. There's a machine next to me, so I'm trying to make sense of everything.
Ms. Priscilla Mkize, Sandile's mother, was in utter shock when told about her son's accident.
Wahamba la ikuseni aright nami ngihamba ngemncwabeni njengoba ngisho ukuthi umntwana othanda ukudlala yabona asoloka busy ngibamba ngicabuza, hi mama, I'm going with my friends siye Witbank in for the first time ngizohamba indlela ende ngeskuta. So nami mara ngajabulanga ngisolo ngithi hi man hamba man Sandile yabona. And then what makusuka lapho ngabo 1ish emini ngafonelwa umuntu nje ngamazi engitshela ukuthi uSandile utholi accident.
Hoping for his son to get better, things only got worse.
I think after 6 months bakhane bemchecka ke kahle ke base bamtshela ke ukuthi uparalyzed from la kwi nipple ukuyezansi kwaba yiloko ke, and then from there azange ngiphatheke kahle.
Sandile was quickly told which of his bodily parts will function and which won't.
I am a T5 complete paraplegic, so which means I only have feeling and function from the nipple line. So it's basically like a ring around my entire body. So everything above there, I can feel and control. However, the left side of my body only has about, this is not what the doctors said, I forgot the actual figures, but it's what I feel. I have about 60-70% control and about 20% sensation. So if I have to cut myself or pinch myself, I know it's happening, but I can't feel it. And then from here downwards, I don't feel anything, which is very ironic in the sense that my accidents spared, or my condition, or my hurtness, or if that's even a word, spared me from a lot of pain, because any injuries that I had from down there below, I never felt.
Sandile woke up helpless and depressed.
I attempted suicide twice. But if I really have to think about it, I really didn't want to. However, I rationalized in my head that a funeral is done in like 3 weeks, and then people can move on with their lives. So the constant presence of being around, I felt, was hurting my loved ones. So, part of the healing process, I think, you suffer in silence, because you think it's very misguided, but you think that you're protecting your loved ones. You don't want them to see your pain. You don't want them to see your hurt. And yeah, I also happen to not be religious. So in this process, I realized that death doesn't frighten me. However, I don't want to die.
He then swiftly made a sensible decision to make the most out of his given chance.
Learning to navigate in a world that's not made for you. Who would have thought something like stairs are offensive now? But you learn to adapt. You create an environment, and you create tools for yourself to adapt and survive in new spaces. And then after a while, with a lot of perseverance and good company, I'm not a product of my own will. It's my support structures, family, friends, that have really gotten me to where I am now. It doesn't matter being in a wheelchair. It only matters when you can't reach the coffee. But everything else is the same. I party in a wheelchair. I laugh in a wheelchair. I smile in a wheelchair.
Despite the need to understand why him, Sandile now embraces that he is differently able.
I lost control and function of about 80% of my body. So I still had my mind that works, as childish as it can be at times. Why not improve that? And for me, that became a process of learning to learn quickly and learning to fail faster.
Sandile took a positive 10 the minute he decided to smile in a wheelchair.
Remember, you can share your thoughts on stories you've seen on the show. Our contact details are on the bottom of your screen. We continue with Sandile's story right after this.
So people with prosthesis can live normal life.
Prosthesis actually manufactures the artificial limbs.
I can pick up stuff. My friends think it's awesome. I like my life.
I can walk normally. There's nothing that I can do. It changed my life from the beginning to where I am now.
Dystrophic dysplasia is a type of dwarfism that affected all my major limbs.
Join Health Talk every Saturday for all your health news.
Somebody should ask the question, is the ICC targeting African leaders?
For the life of me, I would hate to be charged with crimes against humanity. Very few people can deny nor ignore that there are crimes being committed on the African continent at this very moment. Now, we need to be able to hold people to account regardless of where they are from.
South Africa has a body of international law that it's committed itself to, that seeks to counter impunity in the world when it comes to gross human rights violations. In this specific instance, we have a problem. By the way, you must remember that South Africa has a law on extradition and mutual legal assistance that enable us to extradite any fugitive of justice from anywhere in the world so that they can stand trial for whatever crimes.
Welcome back to the show. Sandy Lemke came to the realization that the power to make a change did not rely on his physical ability, but his will to live and be an asset to society. Today, he is a T5 paraplegic with half of his body paralyzed. Sandile has a whole new outlook on life.
The life of Sandile took a turning point after a motorbike accident that happened 4 years ago. Depression and anxiety left him with only one option to his life, being the best than he was before. He today finds happiness in doing for others.
I made a decision, if not overnight, over like a couple of days. So step one, I asked myself, do I really want to die? And my answer to that was, I'm not sure. And then step two was, do I want my parents to bury me? And the answer to that was no. So I can't check out until my parents check out. So let me make the most out of this.
While in hospital, he started studying and therefore created his own website named Give Me Notes.
When I was in hospital, right, as I was saying, to catch up with my peers, I started to become obsessed with memory techniques and how the brain works and how we retain information. So I bought every book that I can find on the subject, and I took every online course I could find. And then I came to realize that there's certain core principles that are just not taught at school level. We're taught that we should learn stuff, but we're not taught how the brain likes to learn stuff. So it just didn't make sense to me why these techniques aren't being taught. So the whole idea from the website actually was to create an online resource that people can access this for free. And then it eventually evolved into the student website that provides free study notes for UNISA students.
Give Me Notes makes it easier for students who can travel to access their notes.
They do not provide entire notes at any particular point. It's a growing learning process, which makes complete sense because in learning you have to go through the steps, you have to build on the blocks. But in life we realize that people tend to procrastinate and they need to cram at the last minute. So I make these notes available throughout the year. If somebody wants to get started, let's say 2 months before they even start the semester, they can browse through the notes. Unfortunately, my UNISA doesn't do that.
Making time to rebuild his physical structure, Sandile enjoys the gym.
It also gives me a sense of being involved and that I'm helping, which helps a lot with my anxiety and with my depression that I struggle with.
Sandile dismisses any notion of impossibilities in his life.
I honestly believe we really can learn whatever we want. It's just about putting in the time. Yes, it does take some people 8 hours, some people 60 days. However, if you just fail enough times and you fail quickly, you'll make it, you'll learn.
He says his friends also helped him to get to a good space in his life.
However, my friends my like real friends, like my real friends, they haven't changed. They've actually become worse, like in a sense of the inappropriate jokes and the harsh truths I need to hear sometimes. And I love them for that, because I lost myself in the process of all of this. And they're slowly helping me to remember that guy and get back to it.
Believing helped Sandile get back to his life.
I was going through to my rehab where my occupational therapists are. And then they told me about a race called the Wings for Life Red Bull race, which is a global race that raises money for spinal cord research. I called one of my older brothers, but he's a friend, but brothers growing up. And I asked him to accompany me to the race, and I did my first race over there. And then I met a couple of people, and we spoke, and that has blossomed into, I now work for a non-profit where we deal with access issues regarding kids with disabilities and persons with disabilities. And also we have a few major projects that I'm very excited about. We're busy working on beach access. We've got a couple of pilot beaches. We'll be starting up in the Western Cape and the KwaZulu-Natal as well. And for me that's exciting because I never thought that somebody in a wheelchair probably has never touched seawater before. So to do work like that is very fulfilling, and it gives me that thing. I don't even know what it's called, but it gives me that thing.
This unplanned move in Sandile's life shifted him to be better and the best, pushing in his wheelchair.
Stay with us. After the break, Sandile takes us through his outreach programs. Stay with SABC News.
The only way to pour the perfect beer, this professional barman would tell you, is into a glass tilted at exactly 45 degrees. Oh, bless you. Bless you, sir. Bless you again. Well, we'd say the perfect way to pour a beer is at this angle, straight into your mouth.
Get a 12-pack of Castle Lager 500ml cans for only $99.99 from Tops at Spar.
Welcome back to the show. You're still watching Bophelong with me, Bule Molebatsi. Sandile is currently exploring ways to better the lives of other people with disabilities. Here is how he plans to achieve that.
The story of Sandile continues to inspire those who thought being a paraplegic is the end of it all. Sandile not only proved that statement wrong, but he has now went on to being a motivational speaker amongst many other things he does in helping others.
That has blossomed as well into motivational speaking. I do speak to people, kids, I've had a couple of events where I've been fortunate enough to share the stage with some really, really cool people. I don't think I'll name drop just yet. And yeah, it's the 180 I needed to start getting my life back together.
Raymond Nxumalo encountered Sandile and grabbed him since then.
I had taken a group of about 90 kids to an inspired youth workshop at Nasrec, and Lemke happened to be a speaker there. And when he moved, when he spoke, I said, this is the man that can move mountains. And as I felt that energy surging through my body, it so happened that my children also loved what he was saying.
Raymond refused to let go of Sandile's wisdom.
I approached him after he finished his talk, and he gave me his numbers, and then I told him why I was taking his numbers, because the children of Rough Diamonds were taken up with him. They fell in love with him, and he duly agreed to come and see what type of intervention he could make in their lives.
Sandile already had plans on how to help Raymond with his after-school care.
He laid down his plans that he didn't want just to be limited to motivational speaking. He wanted to help the children academically. He wanted me to organize the group of those who were in the higher grades, your grade 11s and 12s, just to see how they were performing. And he spoke about something about boosting their memory and giving them study techniques.
Raymond says Sandile brought everything together so well.
He becomes the magnet. At least when he's around, I can feel that some weight is lifted off my shoulders, because he's got techniques and skills that I do not possess.
Sandile is also working with other organizations.
The company that the nonprofit is called OCAL Global, which means One Chance at Life. So we have two major projects that we're working with right now. First of all, it's the beach access. So we've got 2 pilot beaches, 2 or more actually, up in Cape Town and KwaZulu-Natal, which will provide beach access and also wheelchairs that persons with disabilities or differently able people can use to get into the beach.
He has a school that's close to his heart.
I went to this lovely school up in Guguletu called Tembaletu School, the Elsen School. And this school caters for kids with special needs. And we are running a huge project there to build a center, a sports center. So this will, I wish I had the plans, I would show you. It's a 2-story plan that would have sort of a track and also a training facility at the top. So the whole reason why we decided to do it at Tembaletu and at that scale is that it will provide a facility for anybody who wants to, for example, train for the Paralympics or anything along those lines, to have machines that are actually custom built for them to help them achieve whatever athletic goals that they have.
And there's an exciting marathon that he's joined.
On the 27th of April, I am cycling from Cape Town to Pretoria with 8 other runners and 1 other hand cyclist. Over 10 days, we're going to be running and cycling non-stop. It's a relay from Cape Town to Pretoria to raise awareness and also to raise funds for this particular project that we have in mind.
Raymond is inspired by Sandile.
I personally get inspired because he's someone who has overcome a terrible tragedy, and out of it, I don't see any pain or any negativity or self-pity. Instead, what I see someone, I'm inspired by the fact that he's, I think, doing a BCom degree. That anyone who embraces education to me is inspirational, and I think I'm richer for knowing him, and I think this organization is luckier for being associated with him, because he's one who, when they say when life throws lemons at you, you can make lemonade. He's the embodiment of that.
This has changed the lives of many, including his own.
I never thought this would happen to me. This can really happen to anybody. And it takes a split second for your life to change. So for me, it's very important that my life's work, or the work that I'm involved with, does in some shape or form make someone's life a little bit easier.
Moving to greater heights, Sandile has proven many theorems, including that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
And would like to thank Sandile for sharing his story with us, and for you at home for watching. Until next week, it's a goodbye from us here on the show.